Welcome to the Tarot Made Simple, a beginner's journey with the alchemical Cabala. So this past 2 weeks, we've been coloring the Magician key. It's interesting to me how much occurs in the span of 2 weeks. Please unmute yourselves one at a time and share what has occurred to you or for you while coloring this key and what is occurring to you now in your experience with the Magician, key one of the tarot.
Well, I guess I'll go. I I've been really busy while I've been doing this. Lots of things starting in my life, and I can barely keep up with it. But the neat thing is, it's like everything I do just seems to multiply. It's like I start it and it just takes off, and I do something else and it takes off. I feel like I'm just standing here and everything's just whirling around me and happening, and it's all great.
Excellent. Thank you,
So
Susan.
that's where I am right now.
I hear you. Thank you.
Christopher, the overall image just was striking me the whole time I was, regardless of what I was coloring, a rose or whatever I was coloring. It was his posture, the magician's strength and authority, and his access to the tools on the table.
That's wonderful, Charlie. You really just focused right into the essence of this.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah, good job. Thank you. Anyone else? Just what's occurring in your life while you're working with this key? There's no coincidences in Kabbalah.
Hey, Christopher. Yeah, I can share briefly. I was kind of reading through my notes, just with kind of when I was going through this and coloring in the keys. There's also just jotting down just some brief notes of just little things and a lot of it. Just first with regards to the card and just the experience of like coloring it in. The thing that jumped out at me was just how much and actually Charlie touched on it with regard like there's a balance element, but just the amount of red, and it just felt really, just having that just kind of meditative relaxation, just coloring in, and just there's something about just shading in the red, and then also making sure all the roses were touched and all that too. It just really, it made I don't know, just something about like making it like pop a little bit more for me there. But I share that because in the I kind of titrated out how I was coloring it in, just had a little couple minutes here and there throughout the week. And what I would say is just how a couple of things. One is how clarifying a lot of things have been. Very, very clear there. And actually, one thing I was writing in my journal was just how fast it felt like just like a fast current of things picking
Nice.
up. And I share it, and it's I wrote in here, you know, basically, just learning how to ride the wave, enjoying how to surf. Uh, but the big thing about it was because this is only just the side journal, but I got back into, and the big thing that came out was getting back in the practice of journaling. And I had some time because we had some winter weather, and then on top of that, just some free time there. And I really started, like, I I made so much more progress than I normally would and just really went like it felt like new levels and deeper, just self discovery, self awareness. Like I could nerd out about journaling at a different time, but the whole thing of just how many layers of the onion I was like peeling back,
Mm,
if you will,
yeah.
and it was like, oh, it's coincidental that it's going on while working and coloring in this card. And there's other examples with my life, but the main thing was the journaling aspect and how deep that was going and how enjoyable it was. It was very present and connected. And then
Mm,
just there's a bunch of coincidental and pleasant things that have gone on in my life as well, which I'm just writing down coincidences, say just to put it that way.
perfect.
Yeah, so I'll just share that part and I'll pause here.
Thank you, Easy. Thank you very much. I love where you brought up the red. As it strikes me as well. It's like this key, the white and the red, just it's like pure spirit of Keter in action. It's like the
Yes,
spirit decides, okay, I am now going to come into volition, into movement, into expression.
that's exactly what that felt, because it was just there were so many things that were taking place that the key thing was that there wasn't a lot of efforting. It just felt very like, oh, like the decision just arose where it's like, oh, it's just clear. And that's the thing. It's just allowing and arising and just the level of clarity in a number of things that were going on where
Yes.
normally it would be a little bit more muddled. It was just that kind of, divine
Thank you.
divinity
Yeah,
action.
no,
So
it's
yeah.
perfect. You're yes, thank you for opening that up very much. Thank you. But who else? What's going on with your experience with the magician?
Christopher, let me add one thing, please, because how my reaction to the card was one thing, but then you said what was going on in your life. And what was
Yes.
going on in my life was trying to help my son heal. I mean, he literally
Yes.
lives upstairs. He's been sick for months, and we're
Yes.
trying to help him come out on the other side of it. And about a
Yes.
week ago, when I was in the middle of coloring this card, Mark Ehrlichs helped me release a fear that I had in confronting some of his reluctance to get well. And it was quite
Mm,
interesting. It helped me literally to stand with the erect posture of this darn magician. So that's what was going on for me. Thank you.
excellent. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks for bringing that up. So the magician, right, is Mercury in the Western tradition, and we all know the wand of Mercury, right, is the caduceus. It's the healing symbol in medicine of the two serpents rising up the central column. I will say this, there's a saying in Kabbalah that says that Mercury is, we apply Mercury to all our problems, and Mercury solves all problems. This is a profound Kabbalistic saying, and so don't be surprised when you work with this key if you don't experience the rise of perceived perceived problems. Not to say that they're not um, relevant or important. They absolutely are. It's part of this process, and it's very directly healed, directly related to healing. Thank you, Charlie.
Um, Eli,
Yes.
I, with respect to
Hmm.
um, problems as identified, potential problem, not potential, actual problems,
Yeah.
societal problems identified by this card and the precise color directions that we've received.
Yes.
So far, two cards, each of which have had specific colors that are identified with different areas or spaces of the cards. I mean, even the hose of the magician, they, what was it, Citon or something, said orange and green. I mean, very precise.
Mhm.
And the problem that the card re-identified in my mind was the color of flesh. Now,
Mm.
the fool did say, color the face and the hands flesh. The magician, and I left it white. The
Okay.
magician did not have any instructions for the
For the
flesh.
flesh. Hmm.
Yeah. And I do recall as a child the crayon colors, and there was one marked flesh,
Hmm.
and it was, kind of a pinkish orangish.
Yeah.
So when I see instructions that say color it flesh, and I happen to know that our species comes in a variety of flesh colors,
Right.
I'm curious as to what is expected. And
Okay.
in many ways, I think what is expected is the pink tannish, that kind of coloration that Crayola depicted with their
Okay.
early crayons, and perhaps they still do. And the
Okay.
problem, of course, that the magician is systemic racism. So
Yes.
it isn't, that's the only thing.
I hear your concern, and you're pointing to something very real, a cultural um a cultural bias, right? That's been just the product of our times, which it's good to keep perspective, um, because we an incarnation is such a sliver in time, right? So one one thing I really love that the Boda recommends on coloring the keys in the flesh is to pick a tone for each of the races and lightly apply each one to your flesh tones. I I think that's a beautiful practice. Um, and if it resonates with you, I say go with that. Um, that being said, there's no instruction here specifically on this key. I can't help but notice this key is the what's called in Kabbalah the transparent intelligence. And it's key one. So you can take what you wish from that. But I appreciate very much you bringing that to light, and because it's in the mind and it's relevant. God willing, right? We will all survive long enough on this sphere so that these seemingly differentiations and adaptations of our evolution um, become, like the Sufis say, nearer the one, right? But I know that what you're expressing is coming from a place of love, and I appreciate that. Who else? What's occurring for you in the Magician Key?
I think the magician key to me is
Hmm?
the priesthood. I don't
Ah,
know if anyone else thinks that, but that's what I think.
that's beautiful. Could you speak more to that?
He has all the tools to go ahead and create like God, right?
Yes.
Bringing heaven to earth, um, eternity. He's got all the tools right there on the table, the chalice, the
Yes.
sword. Um, the sort of discrimination, and there's just so many different. Is this kind of a steel rod there, and the snake with the tail in the mouth, and it to me is just it's the priesthood. It's just showing that with that power you can create anything, and here's the tools, and this is how you do it. You bring heaven to earth and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, 100%. Thank you, Reverend Rachel. That's beautifully said. 100%. This is the key that connects and brings heaven and earth together, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is why the posture of this figure, this form, is that of standing between the above and the below, and mirroring, allowing the above within to manifest into the below in a beautiful mirroring. And just on a side note, Patrick, it's always this key has always occurred to me as this figure occurs to me as if I had to pick like a race of this particular symbol, which is just the self-conscious mind, just to be clear. Um, it always strikes me as more Native American for some reason, but that's just my lens that I view, my personal lens that I view the world through, which I found really beautiful because we are living in the continent of this particular expression of the one life, right? Which we tend to forget unless we're immersed in that and our ancestry that's tied to the actual space in Earth where we inhabit. Anyone else?
Just had a quick comment and note, but I can hold it if someone
No,
else.
please,
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah, because actually, just something that Rachel touched on with the word that really popped out at me with the word playful, and just how, because like looking at this card, for example, and just again also the experience of just the coloring and all of it, is just it's almost like there's a youthful kind of like childlike wonder and play and just ability to create. And then it made me think of the word, it was abracadabra. And I'd looked it up and this was reading here because it was basically it's like with my words I create, or I create
Yes.
as I speak and all that. And just that whole, just sharing just the whole, drawing the attention to the tools, like the act of creation and just how it's all, it's just that, you have like your builders and your architects, but it's like at the end of the day, it's, you can almost say it's like one of the same because it's this whole thing of just the creation aspect of,
Yes.
and the expression of that creation. It's like
Yeah.
the idea can be there, but grounding it and allowing it to evolve into what that is. And just so much being said in that card. So I will just say real briefly on that, and just because it did make me think of this thing about accessing kind of just that deeper emotional, like kind of your inner child, like inner adult, inner child work. So thinking about like coloring the cards, an idea that's been popping up that I would like to explore for the next one is when you write, the way the hemispheres work with the mind is that with your dominant hand, that's your kind of your inner adult, and then with your non-dominant hand, which is the other sphere, it's your basically your inner child, right? So if I'm right-handed, then it's the left hemisphere, and then vice versa for the left. So the way one could kind of access and tap into that like deeper emotional inner child state is you basically write, pen and pad, and it's got to be pen or pencil on paper, tactile aspect, writing it out, just saying hello, how are you, to your inner child there, just that giving it space and grace and love and all the things that what it may be, and then flipping over to your non-dominant hand and then responding from to the note that you wrote, even though it's to yourself, but responding back with that, and just that taps in those deeper spaces. So looking at this type of exercise of like coloring in the card, it makes me think of, oh, coloring in with the non-dominant hand for these type of cards and stuff would be really like a cool thing to explore. So yeah, just wanted to share that little bit as well.
Thank you, Easy. Thank you very much. That's beautifully said and really well explained. And thanks for repeating that for the recorded section for us because
No worries.
it's so important. I think if you're not familiar with the practice Easy just articulated, rewind this and listen to it again and try it. It's profound practice and useful and simple and it's quite beautiful. Thank you for bringing that up. I hadn't even associated that with the keys.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I will say, it's kind of like a, you know, be, be the parent that your inner child wanted and wished to be right there, and just adding that, if it was great and
Yes,
loving, even more so, and more grace and more love to give you that wholeness that is being sought. So, just
very
want to share.
healing.
Thanks.
Thank
Yes.
you, Easy. Thank you. Anyone else before we move forwards?
I'll just say one more thing. So the red over the holiness of God, bringing it down to the earth, and there's a lot of action. There's a lot of things occurring here, manifestation and all that, but also all the nature surrounding um, the magician
Yeah.
and the 10 roses and the white lilies, all very significant for that nature is all part of this.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you, Rachel. And I'll kind of just muse on what you just said. Most of the keys that show the magician have five roses above and five below. And something unique to the Whom Tarot I see is there's a new bud starting to
Mhm.
form, both above and below. That's, I think, really worth contemplating, especially when you talked about nature and evolution, etc. Because the keys, they help us. They're kind of our messages to our subconscious on how to evolve and unfold, right? To grow spiritually, to help our spirit evolve in the world. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll move forwards here. So, in the tarot, key zero is the Fool. This is our divine presence and our superconscious self in our breath. Take a deep breath now. Pay attention to it. This is literally our access to spirit, our own spirit, in the flesh, in the world, incarnate. This is the first principle and behind all of the keys, within all of the keys. The next and the very first expression of this divine breath and spirit is key one, the magician, shown here as the self-conscious mind, right? The superconscious of the all becomes focused. And what that focus is self-conscious awareness as a specific center of expression. So the magician stands between what is above, right, within, and what is below, without. You are a channel, a center of expression for the all to flow into the garden of experience through your attention. This is both ordinary attention and profound focus. So here's a key to key one. Right now, with your self-conscious awareness, focus while remaining open to the above and the within. Hold both simultaneously. Feel that connection. And then open your eyes and don't lose the connection. Feel it. Right there. Good. So, the self-conscious awareness is often not aware of what is above or within. Immersion in the magician key shows us the correct posture for our self-conscious mind to take or assume to be a more clear, transparent channel for the one will to manifest into the lower vibratory states. This is our highest spiritual reality and being flowing into and appearing into what we call matter, the matter. This is our divine connection from the deepest within into the expressed outer, or the invisible into what we call the visible. Now, notice how the magician is holding this wand of power outside the boundaries or the borders of this key. Really let that make a deep impression into your own subconscious mind. So this shows you, and what's occurring in this key really, when we make this connection, is you are connecting into the unknown, higher vibratory states of the one. If the mind thinks that it already knows what that is, that's not it. So, just notice it. If we already think we know what this is, just make note and let that go. Reach into the unknown, in your will, in your intention. Okay, so I'm going to share one very simple, powerful way to work with this key, the magician, which you can apply to absolutely any issue, concern, or problem that you have or that you perceive. And I can't stress this enough. I want you to be as simple here as you can. Like Easy was saying earlier, childlike, simple, this sort of simplicity. So take a deep breath. Feel yourself standing in your own self-aware presence right now. Good. With your intention opening to the highest good that is yet unknown. Assume the imagery of the magician key. Good. This practice allows you to connect to the will of the One, the true will. On the tree, this is Keter. It's this brilliant, radiant, pure light right above your head that pours all through you, your whole auric egg, down to your feet, back into your heart. Now, this will, this one true will, is your true will. And when you do this, you become an activated channel for the one will to manifest into the world. This is super simple. Just assume and hold the position of the magician key in your knowing as if you are that. You do not have to understand this yet. You won't understand this yet. Understanding comes later, after you have stood under the one will above. After you have assumed the position of the magician. This is humility. Open, allow the one life to flow through you, removing all obstructions from its clear expression. Now, just let that go, feel it. It wants to remove these. Then watch what the life of your life brings through you into the world. Let it come with the trust of a child. We don't try to figure this out. The wisdom of the one is foolishness to this world. Simply assume the posture of the magician. Deep breath, attention, intention. Beautiful. Thank you. So with your pure attention, please just give your aware focus to the key before you now. Key number 2, the High Priestess. And just notice where your attention flows, where it's drawn to, into key 2. And then just please unmute yourselves one at a time and share one thing that speaks to you or occurs to you. A High Priestess key for this next 2 weeks.
The 2 circles in the center of her chest, looking, or
Nice.
the 2 ovals, or that shape.
Yes.
Yep.
Got you. Thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
The different phases of the moon on her headdress.
Lovely. Thank you, Victoria.
Well, the flowing fire and the flowing water, the flowing gown,
Nice.
wavy lines.
Yeah, I feel that. Thank you, Nancy.
I saw the stars and the flowing water coming from her gown.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, I was drawn to the two arches, different colors, and fire and water
Mm,
balance.
very nice. Thank you, Lucette.
As was I. She seems to be sitting between a black and a white column, right in the middle. Perhaps.
Yes, I can feel that. Thank you, Patrick.
The ball of light right above her head, right above the crown, like the illumination.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rachel. Hmm. I can really feel like that hand there with the yod, that fiery yod. Can feel the presence of everyone's presence in this key. All right. Excellent.
There were two
Thank
major, if I may, there were two major
Yes.
changes from, I have cards from back in the 70s from the order, and then this card, of course. But
Mm,
in the older cards, there are music symbols,
mm,
music notes all around the sides. But the
mm-hmm,
other thing that I hadn't noticed before is on her chest, the old cards, it's a cross.
mm,
And whereas it's that's a different symbol on this newer card. It looks more like an atomic symbol.
interesting. Thank you, Charlie. All right.
Evolution.
All right. So thank you all for sharing. Seed words for key two are pure, still, presence. May your path be blessed in ever greater light and deliberation. This concludes the Tarot Made Simple for Key 1, the Magician. The floor is now open for any questions or comments.